How's it going? I didn't think my link up would work there, but it worked. So I guess we better get on with it since we're live. This is the Brother Seamus Show. I'm glad you're here. Let's go full screen on that. We got Bigfoot. GRTV Bigfoot is here to do some dancing for your pleasure. And I'm your host, Brother Seamus. The title of tonight's broadcast, comes from Latin. It means extremis, the Latin is Extremism Damnum. All right? You can probably see that there. It's probably not a very good display, though, is it? Let's do this. Let's turn off that camera. Extremism Damnum, you can see over here. That's the Latin for extremism. Extremism causes damage, people. That's my argument now. That'll be my argument in the future. And I'll keep telling you why. I think you'll agree with me. It's not completely crazy to think that extremism of any sort is probably bad. It's especially bad in the political world because it makes us want to kill each other. And that always ends the same way, people. You know this. The Civil War was still the worst war in terms of casualties for the United States. Why should we kill each other over political differences that can be, I think, pretty readily resolved in a mutually satisfying way? But what we have to do is we have to get out of our amygdalas. We have to get out of that part of our brain that just wants us to overreact to everything. And that's what social media does to us. It teaches us to react like primordial humans would react. And those that gather power, they count on that reaction. They count on you not slowing down and checking the validity. But that has to happen. Let me tell you the secret of not being captured by conspiracy theories and cult-like beliefs is you got to slow down. That's one way to fight it. It's one antidote. Slow down, calm down, talk to some people that can bring you back to earth, and then reason your way through it in a calmer state of mind. But on social media, they get you all agitated. That's kind of the goal. That's part of the reason I'm on social media, is because this is where they get you. And they target you. They know that you had that you went through a divorce. They know that somebody in your family died. They even know that you're going to rehab or you lost your job. And then they target you. And guess what? When you're going through something difficult, you're much more likely to get sucked in by extremist thinking. Extremis. See, I keep forgetting the Latin. Let me check it one more time. Extremis Damnum. Extremis Damnum. Yeah, let me change the filter on this. Can we get rid of that? Oh, that looks better. Extremis Damnum. That's today's title. And it means extremism causes damage. I was going to go for extremism kills because that's easier. That's probably what I would do in English. But the word in Latin for kills wasn't nearly as pleasing, in my opinion. Extremism Damnum. That sounds good in Latin. This is the Brother Seamus Show. I hope you'll agree with me here. Fox News lies incite violence. Even if you're a Republican, even if you're a right-winger, when you start lying to people, geez, oh Pete, man, you can start to cause, especially if you're like Fox News, where, let me say this much, if you're a mainstream news network, still the most cable-watched channel is Fox News. Everybody acts like, oh, the right wing doesn't have its voice. It's the most watched channel, people, on cable. I believe that's true to this day. And I'm just saying, if you're going to lie, people are going to believe you. And then you're going to get your asses sued, and you're going to lose. But they don't seem to care because the money, people. That's the real conspiracy. Right out in front of everything else, baby. It's the money. This is the Brother Seamus Show. Speaking of money, give us a call at 509-676-6032. We've got GRTV Bigfoot is here today. We all got some new hoodies. My hoodie came in as well. So we appreciate the Bigfoot dancing. And I got to grab my coffee. I'll be right back. Please enjoy the fresh Fruity Loops. Bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. Bigfoots like to dance. 1, 2, 3. Bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Oh 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 yeah. Bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. Oh yeah. Bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. Yeah. I bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. 1, 2, 3. I bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. Oh yeah. Bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance, yeah. Bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. 1, 2, 3. Bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. Oh yeah. Bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. Yeah. I bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. 1, 2, 3. I bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. Oh yeah. Bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. Oh yeah. Bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. Yeah. I bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. 1, 2, 3. I bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. Oh. Did you know, people? Did you know that Bigfoots like to dance? It's been proven, people. It's been proven scientifically, or so I claim. It's been proven that Bigfoots like to dance. Well, that's how we open our show here at the Brother Seamus Show. If you want to call us, 509-676-6032. I am aware that I have a whistly S, and I'm working on it at all times. I do think if you believe that abortion is wrong, you should support legislation for free birth control for everybody all the time, including the boys, right? You know, you can make a deposit at the sperm bank. You can put your boys on ice when you're young. Those are your healthiest sperm anyway, right? When you're young, get your healthy ones, put them on ice. This should be a service supported by the federal government. We could say anybody that wants a free sperm bank account, the government will cover most, if not all, of the cost of that. And then the idea being, then boys at a younger age can get vasectomized, and then girls don't have to worry about birth control by themselves all the time. Let's let the boys take on a little bit of responsibility here, can we? Now, I know some of you are troubled. Some of you boys, you might be afraid of getting vasectomized. Let me tell you. I'm not going to say it was a pleasure to get vasectomized, but it really wasn't bad at all. I mean, a little awkward. A couple times I locked eyes with the surgeon, and I was like, well, hell, how you doing? And he was like, oh, I'm fine. How are you? And I was like, I'm okay. A little bit squirmy. I can feel your fingers pressing into my taint. I didn't say that. That was a part I thought about. But, yeah, I know some of you are afraid of getting vasectomized, but you know what? If boys, we'll use the word harvest. If boys harvest their spermatozoa and put it in the bank, they can then do family planning. And then any person who's any egg-carrying person doesn't have to worry and doesn't have to play with their hormones, which is a much more difficult way to do it. So I'm talking to you young men out there, get a vasectomy, especially if you think abortion is wrong. Now, if you still want to have kids, that's fine. The planet is overpopulated, okay? I'm just saying. The planet's overpopulated. Think about maybe we don't need to make more humans, not for a little while. And, yeah, put some boys in the bank. Put your boys on ice. I should sell a T-shirt that says that. Put your boys on ice. And I think it's a lot easier then for young women to deal with, or to not have to deal with, being on hormones, which I wouldn't want to be on hormones, quite frankly. Let's see, what if I turn this off? Interesting. I'm still got the background going, don't I? Oh, ah, oh, oh, ah. Well, I'm going to turn that off for a second because I want to look. We'll leave the music on, of course. I just heard that my coffee came up, so maybe actually I should... Let's do this. Let's go to display only and pull up the dancer. There he goes. He's got it. He's got it going on. I don't think I'm in that shot. There we go. Let's talk about how extremism causes damage. Extremism damnus. Extremis damnus. Extremism causes damage. All right, people. Let's give GRTV Bigfoot. Let's give him a big round of applause. Thanks for coming in today. Bigfoot, they love to dance so much that I can almost always find a volunteer to come into the studio and dance. And this Bigfoot really likes the fog machine and the lasers, as do I. You can never have too many fog machines and lasers. That's how we keep it real here on the Brother Seamus Show. Give us a call at 509-676-6032. We're live simulcasting on YouTube under the Brother Seamus Show. You can watch all of our episodes now on YouTube. We started on Facebook for a minute, but YouTube's just easier to work with when it comes to live video. No offense, Facebook. Although Facebook, in my estimation, here's the thing too. I'm not trying to destroy Facebook. I'm trying to get Facebook to hold itself accountable. Actually, let me back up. I think Facebook needs to be held accountable by our civil legal system. All right? That's my goal. I want Facebook, Google, all of them, Twitter, Telegram, Instagram, all the grams, all the tubes. If you're going to publish things that harm people, and there's a case going to the Supreme Court at the moment, Gonzalez versus Google, et al. If you're going to publish things that harm people, you're a problem. Now Google's going to say, we didn't publish anything. Section 230 protects us because we're not the publisher. Yeah, but you spread it around, didn't you? It's like in high school, if you were trying to start some vicious rumor about your ex because you were mad, and you were like, she's got fungus on her toenails, yeah, or he only has one testicle. Yeah, you're trying to start that rumor, right? Well, you could probably, the crazier the better, the more insulting and angry, the more it will spread around because human beings lock into that shit. But you're only going to be so successful on your own. You're going to tell the people you know, and they might be like, shut up. Shut up, Pat. She does not have fungus toenails. And then Facebook creeps up to you, or Google creeps up to you and says, hey, you want that fungus toenail rumor to go viral? Give me some money, and I'll make sure everybody in the damn high school sees it. So Facebook takes that money, spreads around the rumor, the lie, the misinformation, the disinformation, and it affects people. And then your ex gets targeted. And then a lie that was something you made up in your head that you pushed out there to get revenge or to make money or whatever reason you're lying to the world about, Facebook makes it happen. Facebook makes sure the lie, and here's the beauty, their algorithm is so good, and I'm sure Google's is just as good. I don't know who has the best algorithm. What are you trying to do? You trying to let disinformation destroy civilization? Well, Facebook's probably got the best one going right now. Facebook, their algorithm is so good that they can say to the rumor monger, hey, we can get your rumor out there and we won't waste sending it to people who aren't going to believe it. We know in this high school, if we use this example still, we know who will believe your lie about your ex, that she or he has fungus toenails. Some people just aren't going to believe it. We won't even bother with them, and it won't cost you as much. It's very cost effective, people. Being in the disinformation business, if you have a good algorithm that tracks people, and every time you click something on Facebook, they're watching, they're listening, and Google too. If you're watching me right now, they know it. They know how long you watch. They give me reports about who's watching and for how long. Right now, nobody, and for not very long. Someday, somebody will call 509-676-6032. Don't go anywhere. This is the Brother Seamus Show. GRTV Bigfoot is here to dance. I should do a shout out. GRTV is, we're broadcasting live at Q109 in Walla Walla, Washington, but GRTV is a small public access TV station in Grand Rapids, Michigan, I'm told. And GRTV is, just like the rest of us, starting to grapple with what does it mean that a lot of people get their television off the internet now and they don't watch public access. And what I would say to you is this: public access TV matters. It still matters. It's always been a very small audience, but it's TV that anyone can go on and share their message. I'm doing a version of public access TV on YouTube. But having a city or a channel that's just for the city, I think that's going to be more important than ever. So support your local public access TV. Do you want news from local people? Do you want to find out what's going on in your city, or do you want to just hear the rumors that are being spread around? Do you want to hear the lies that are being spread around on social media at scale, right? So the rumor monger in your high school could say, well, hey, if you have enough money, I'll take your rumor to the other high school, to our rival high school. And your ex has family and friends there, so that'll tarnish your ex's reputation over there. We'll spread the fungus toenail lie to another high school. Oh, you have more money? Let's hit another high school. So if you have a lot of funding from whatever dark money source and you really want to lie to people, that's right. Facebook's your go-to weapon, right? Now, you can't always draw a direct line. See, that's going to be their argument. They're going to say, hey, just because we blasted out all these talking points about how there's an invasion at the southern border, just because we blasted that out, and just because this guy sat at his computer and absorbed it all, and just because he was vulnerable enough and just enough on the edge that he went out and got a gun and killed a bunch of innocent people at a Walmart in El Paso, just because that happened, and just because we bombarded him, Facebook would say, it's still not our fault, because we didn't come up with those ideas. Yeah, but you spread them the fuck around, didn't you? You spread them everywhere, and you're still spreading them. So what do I want from Facebook? I'm not trying to destroy them. I want them to be subject to civil liability, just like everybody else. If your product gets people killed, I say, without a hint of irony here on social media, if social media is getting people killed, they need to be civilly liable. That will correct the problem for the most part. There'll still be extremist speech and hate speech and disinformation on social media, but it's the degree. Right now, pretty much no limit. Although they've proven, important point about Facebook, they proved that they could turn off the disinformation, and they could do it pretty effectively, because they did it right after the January 6th riot, but they only did it for a week because they wanted to make that sweet, sweet cabbage, baby. They knew there was more cabbage to be had. Woo! Cabbage, baby, you gotta get the cabbage. All right, that's enough of that. That's today's class. That's our classroom part. That'll be on the exam. Support public access, better quality news, better quality information at a hyper-local level. How do we prepare for the future on public access? That's an excellent question. Now, let me tie it back into the title of the show, Extremism Damnus. Extremism Damnus. It's Latin. Extremism causes harm. So it works like this. You may not be affected by the evils that are perpetrated upon many people's brains on social media. You may not be the target, right? But just think for a minute, somebody you know is a target. You could be in the same house with them. Facebook can send an ad to your roommate in the upstairs bedroom because the algorithm knows different things about your roommate than the algorithm knows about you. So the roommate might get an extreme message about, I don't know, all the Mexicans are rapists and drug dealers or whatever, and your roommate's up there, and because she or he has been just going through a bad breakup and been using a lot of, snorting a lot of the powder or whatever, your roommate's now more vulnerable to that message and starts to feel, in a confusing mix of emotions, starts to feel afraid. And what does that fear do? That fear leads your roommate to then get prepared to fight, right? Oh no, is this a threat? Is there a threat? Somebody keeps saying there's a threat. I keep looking on Facebook and there's a threat. So get off of Facebook, number one, if you can. Get off of social media. I know, we're on social media right now, but that's part of the fun, people. Denouncing social media on social media is fun. So my argument is basically that social media leads to extremist thought, because what the algorithm can detect more than anything, and I'm a psychologist for real, I have a license, I've been practicing for 25, 30 years, somewhere in there, 28 years, something like that. I'm not an expert on everything, but I can tell you this. What they look for is when you're upset. The more upset you are, the more engaged you are on Facebook. Their product needs you to stay engaged so they can keep flashing commercials on your eyeball, because that's how they make their money. And if I'm over there clicking angry faces all day, oh, that makes me mad, that makes me mad, that makes me scared and upset, that makes me feel like I need to defend myself. Well, their business model, it pays to keep you in that state of mind. They're going to deny that, but I think the records will show pretty clearly that they knew exactly what was going on. And they just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. Why? Because of greed. Greed. Yes. That's the real conspiracy, people, is greed. The scareder you get, the more likely you are to take thoughts and feelings and turn them into behaviors. Extremists damnness. Extremeness. Oh yeah. Let's add that to our vocal loop for the day. Bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. Oh yeah. Bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. Yeah. Bet you didn't know. Bet you didn't know. No, that's not going to work. Bet you didn't know that Bigfoots like to dance. I'm going to delete that right away. I bet you didn't know. All right, I'll just do the Extremist Damnness live. We don't need to put everything into the loop. But we do like loops a lot on this show, so... Things you can do instead of. I'm not saying you can't do social media at all. As a psychologist, I'm just saying be really careful and ask yourself when you're done looking at social media, how do you feel? Just ask yourself, how do I feel after an hour, especially if you read the comments? Oh my God. My brother Moog, he likes to read the comments, and I have mixed feelings about it. I'm kind of grateful that he reads the comments because then he tells me what he reads. But it is not good for him, and he knows it's not good for him. He'll even say, "Man, if I read the comments, man, it just totally fucks me up." So be careful how much time you spend on social media, but also just take stock of your mood or your kids' moods. Do they come off of Facebook most kids aren't even using Facebook. It's people my age are, but TikTok, same thing. They're all the same. There's nothing worse about TikTok than there is about Instagram or Facebook. They're all getting data about you and about your children, and the goal is to sell you things, and sometimes the seller is selling lies that they want you to believe so that you'll buy their ivermectin or whatever bullshit they're selling. They get you with emotion. Social media is a lot like Santa Claus. It knows when you've been sleeping. It knows when you're awake. It knows if you broke up last month and just came from a wake. Yeah, social media, social media, ba-ba-doo. It's gonna destroy you. That was a really shitty song. But you get the idea. It has the makings of a great song. But not right now. Thanks for being here, GRTV Bigfoot. GRTV Bigfoot has some excellent moves. I'm going to try out a little bit of stand-up comedy that I've been working on. I hope you don't mind. That's just this is what I'm going to do right now. I'm I might go over to the other stage if I can figure out how to rejigger. Got to rejigger my cameras over here. All right, we're going to keep that one where it's at. This one, let's just go no display capture. And maybe I'll keep the title up for now, but let's turn the filter off. I just want to do a normal. There we are. That's normal. Back to normal. Brother Seamus Show. By the way, if you want to help us, if you like what's going on here, let me pause that track for a minute. You can buy our t-shirts. We have some really cool t-shirts for sale over here on bonfire.com. And the name of our store is Humans for Democracy. And you're seeing a negative image here, so let me fix that for you. Let me fix that for you so you can see the shirts, how they really look. So that's how the shirts look right there. You can get them in different styles, but you get the idea. We believe that immigrants make great Americans because we were almost all of us were immigrants at some point or another, whether we came here of our own free will or whether we were forced or forced by circumstances, as is most recently the case. Go to bonfire.com/Humans for Democracy. And you'll see our shirts. We also have a Be an Anti-Racist t-shirt. So right now, just 2 of them are up. And this one doesn't have as many. Oh, wait, that's the OG shirt right there. Where'd the racist? There we go. So the anti-racist shirts are right below. Let's see how that one looks. Oh, that's a nice peach color. Golden rod of some sort or another. So let's end the show with, I want to do a little bit more stand-up and dance some more with Bigfoot, because you don't always get that option. Do 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 do. All right, so that's camera 2, Brother Seamus 1. Where is camera 1? Oh, there it is. Oh, wrong one. Let's turn the filter off of that guy too so we can go back to normal. Going back to normal, people. This is the Brother Seamus Show. You can call us. Nobody ever does, but you could. I mean, it's possible if you did the thing with your phone where you pick it up and dial these numbers, 509-676-6032. I'm your host, Brother Seamus. So today's stand-up comedy portion is along the same lines. Let me turn down the music, the house music. Thank you very much. All that music you're hearing is homemade, by the way. Baked fresh in our Q109 studios here in Walla Walla, Washington. I don't always make brand new loops, but yesterday I was feeling pretty good about it, so that's what I did. Now, setting aside the horrors, setting aside the horrific thing that we know as racism, I just want to point out, discriminating against people because of skin pigmentation seems incredibly dumb. And I suggest, as a joke, of course, I suggest that we do it, if we're going to discriminate against anyone, if discrimination is somehow required by the gods, right? Why not left-handedness? I'm left-handed, and here's the reason. Skin pigmentation has nothing to do with who you are as a person. You could at least argue that I, as a left-hander, am using my brain differently. Most left-handers, I think the common wisdom is that left-handers are right-brained and right-handers are left-brained. It's not really the case. Left-handers are more in the middle. They're more cross-dominant, so they're using both hemispheres of their brain more equally than, say, a typical right-hander. But even right-handers are cross-dominant. Depends on how right-handed you are and how left-handed you are. But at least handedness relates to some actual brain difference. Now, of course, you shouldn't discriminate against left-handers. But if you're going to pick something, why you pick skin pigmentation, really? I'm light peach. People say black and white, but of course it's a continuum, right? I'm light peach. I like to think of myself as light peach. And you know, probably, these are things I haven't looked up yet, but there's a claim that left-handed people are more likely to become great artists, or that they're more poetic or more emotional or more whatever. And I do believe this one's a fact, more likely to suffer from schizophrenia. So there's an actual brain difference there. You still shouldn't discriminate against left-handers, I want to say, as a left-hander. But skin pigmentation, really? That's so dumb. And kind of bad. I mean, I don't think this is bad news, but I think some white people feel picked on. White men especially feel picked on. And setting aside the fact that the question isn't really, are you white? Are you getting picked on because you're white? It's, do you have a high income or low income? Because low income white people get picked on. Point is this. Everybody started out black. The cradle of humanity was in Africa. We lived closer to the equator. Our ancestors lived closer to the equator. There's only one type of human that survived, right? Homo sapiens. We're all Homo sapiens. The closer you are to the equator, the more direct the sun hits your skin. And I'm realizing as I say this isn't very funny at all. I'm doing stand-up, but I forgot to put in the jokes, man. Oh, shit. Well, at least I've got fog and lasers, right? Fog and lasers. How can you beat fog and lasers? I'll never get enough. Never. So at least with left-handed people, you can be like, hey, bro, I heard left-handers are more likely to be serial killers. I don't know if that's true. It's probably true. It's probably true. Don't discriminate against left-handers, but if you're going to discriminate, if you're going to attack people for characteristics, left-handedness carries a lot more weight. Brain differences. You could reasonably argue if you just wanted to protect right-handers. But their brains are different. Them lefties, can't trust them. And of course, the Catholic Church used to try to beat it out of you. I don't know if you knew that. I look around it as if I have an audience in the room. They used to try to beat, the nuns would, I think, shame and just like tie your left hand behind your back so you couldn't use it. And the thing is, if we started discriminating against lefties, lefties would just learn to be righties and they'd fake it. Then we'd have to have complicated tests to see, are you really left-handed or are you really right-handed? What are we going to do? Look at those lefties over there. Get them. I don't want to be discriminated against, but probably I'm more cross-dominant. So what does that mean? It's just how my brain was set up. It's just how your brain was set up if you're right-handed or left-handed. Some people are right square in the middle. Mother Nature doesn't like extremes, really. She's usually working on a continuum from black to white. I'm very close to white. I'm not pure white. I'm light peach. I think we should all pick our colors on the color wheel. Seriously. A, it's a lot more fun. It's a lot more creative. B, who are we kidding here? There's one race, Homo sapiens. The closer you were to the equator, the darker your skin, because you had to protect yourself from the sun. Your hair got thicker. Eye shape changed. A lot of stuff changed, but it was mostly weather. And then white people emerged as humans traveled north. And you know how it happened. They were like, hey, Jim, the juicy ungulate has run to the north there. There might be a woolly mammoth or two that we could eat. But the juicy ungulate went north into that white space. You know that white space everybody used to talk about? It's true. There's a place that's all white and it's cold. And that's where the juicy ungulates ran. They ran that way. You want to keep going? And Jim was like, hell yeah, I ain't going home without a juicy ungulate. I'd be ashamed. So like, all right, Jim, you're the leader. We're going north. Now, I'm not sure how we're going to figure out how to get back. Don't worry about that right now. We got to get up north and get us some juicy ungulates. Okay, Jim, you're the boss. Then 3 weeks later, here's the good news. They got the juicy ungulate. They had ungulate meat. And it was juicy, and they loved it. And then they're like, all right, Jim, we better head back. We've been hunting for like 3.5, 4 years now. We got to get back to camp. And Jim was like, okay, let's go. And they looked around and they realized in the snowy tundra, they couldn't tell which way to go. So they just stayed. And then guess what happened? Their dark skin was repelling too much light. And they're like, yeah, we're not getting enough vitamin D. I need lighter skin. I need to go bald. And there you have it, people. Then that's how white people happen, because they followed Jim. Sorry to people named Jim. It's just my favorite name to use. It's the most regular name, probably. So black people wandered too far north and they couldn't find their way back, or they didn't want to go back. Maybe Jim wanted to get lost. And that's how white people happened. Thank you very much. That's my time. I am your brother Seamus. I do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I'm glad you're here. Maybe I have time for one more joke. A little bit more fog. So what I do is I write my jokes on upcycled cardboard, and I put my jokes in the cereal box. You can see I'm a big spender there. Actually, this brand, our family brand of shredded wheat, is pretty damn good. It's different. It's different if you're a shredded wheat fan. All right, I'm just going to randomly pick out a joke and see what we can do here. This one feels lucky. All right. This joke is, how do we handle more than 4 channels, sonny boy? How do you handle more than 4 channels, sonny boy? Okay, so this is a joke about an old man who can't handle the TV having more than 4 channels. And it's mostly a way to make fun of the fact that I'm old.
All right, you ready? How do you handle more than 4 channels, sonny boy? Back in my day, we had CBS, NBC, and CBS, and then one way up high, like in the 40s to the 70s, the UHF channels. That was 4 channels. That's all we needed.
So that's an old man questioning how you could possibly handle more than 4 channels. Here's another one. This is about a weird dream I had. I don't even have to make this a joke. This is just a dream I had, and it's true. I was having sex with a leopard. Hey, man, I would say I didn't come up with that, but apparently my brain did. Doggy style, of course. Having sex with a leopard. The leopard turned into a tree, and then the tree turned into some dude I went to college with, and I'm not even gay, and if I was gay, I wouldn't have had sex with this guy. So why the hell is he in my dream? I didn't like that one bit. Not one bit. No, sir. Why are you... The leopard, though. Woo! Let me tell you. All right. Oh, yeah, this is another joke. Home and garden show. You've seen these shows on HGTV. They're probably all over the place where the couple goes out and they're looking at houses, right? It's almost always a couple. And these houses they're all probably spending more than they can afford. And they all want to, they're like, Jeremy, I need a view of the ocean. I need to be near the ocean. And Jeremy's like, okay, babe, we're going to get you a place near the ocean. This one's $350,000, babe. Oh, but Jeremy, look at the view. It's so worth it. So you meet these various couples looking at various houses. And then they have to pick. And a lot of times the house they really want is too expensive, right? So we do a version of that show. This is my idea for this show with a little twist at the end. And we get the couples to figure out what's the house they really want, but they can't quite afford it, right? And so each couple picks whatever their favorite house is, and then they bring them all together in one of those houses, and they say, okay, here's the big surprise. You can have this house for free, but all y'all gotta be in an orgy right now, and we're gonna film it, we're gonna sell it on porno, pay-per-view, and we're gonna make a ton of money, and you get a free house. But you all have to have a big greasy orgy, big over-lubricated orgy right now. Now, of course, people will be like, well, they can't show that on regular cable. It's like, no. But you know who one of the biggest purveyors of pornography for money is? It's Comcast. Who do you think's running the nudies? I mean, there are competitors, obviously. But Comcast ain't no stranger to showing pornos. We were all black once. Chase the juicy ungulate to the north. We just did that piece. We're going to keep charging ahead. I want to see how fast I can do my jokes, and then I'll slow down and have more fun with them. Oh, one time I took a bus, and I almost didn't make it to where I was going before pooping my pants. Are frat boys going to ruin weed? Are frat boys going to ruin weed? This would be a good one for you guys to call in on, too. I mean, if you ever feel like calling in. So far, nobody's called in, ever. But that's okay. Oh, are frat boys going to ruin weed? I ask, mostly tongue-in-cheek. And what I mean by that is, you get these dudes, these bros, right? And these bros, they want to make money, and they got a degree in finance and stuff like that. And it's fine. I'm not saying anything against finance people. But let's say the only way you look at marijuana is how much money can you make? How much money can we make on weed? And then we're going to have terrible ads. We're going to have some form of Spuds McKenzie. Because the big alcohol will get into selling weed too. I'm sure they're already in, but and then it's just it just takes away from, it really takes away from the nice experience that a person can have while smoking the weed. I just don't want terrible ads for weed, and all they're going to be using sex to sell it. And I'm not anti. Well, I'm kind of an anti-capitalist. I think capitalism really, really needs to be balanced out on the other side. Robots should drive cars. Here's why robots should drive cars. And I don't think they should just be driverless cars. I think there needs to be a mannequin-shaped robot in the front seat. It doesn't have to be realistic, but there should always be a mannequin up there with a head that can spin around and be like, hey, how's it going today? And you can be like, shut up, robot. I don't want to talk to you today. And then the robot won't care because it's a robot. But the robots should drive because you suck at driving, and I suck at driving. Everybody sucks at driving. We kill 20 to 40,000 people a year because we all suck. We all suck. I'm not saying I'm a better driver than you. Some rednecks at home are like, God damn it, I fucking drive like a motherfucker. Shit. Yeah, but you know what? You're human, and you're going to look at your phone. At some point, you're going to look at your phone because your girlfriend said some shit, and you got to figure out what you're going to say back, or you're going to go up, and then you're like, what did she say? And you look up, and there's a tree. Smash. Robots don't do that shit. Yes, I know there'll be problems with the robots too, but guess what? They won't kill as many people. They may stop suddenly because they see a shadow from a squirrel, and you'll be like, oh, what happened? But they'll be way better than us. We all suck. Here's the other thing. Half of y'all know you're driving while you're intoxicated. Half of y'all are smoking a little doobie, and you're like, hey, no, marijuana makes me better at driving. Because I slow down, I go slower. Like, yeah, no, there actually is good data on that, man. Weed does not help you drive. It does not help. And neither does alcohol. And together, they get you more fucked up. They're synergistic drugs. All drugs don't do that. Marijuana amplifies the effects of alcohol. Alcohol amplifies the effects of marijuana. How about that? They're kicking each other up a notch. So, A, you're going to look at your phone because you can't help it. It's irresistible. These phones are irresistible. Then you're probably going to be impaired in some form or another, or a fucking bee flies in the car. And you're like, ugh, or you drop your doobie between your legs like in The Big Lebowski and you hit a dumpster. So robots. All I'm saying is I'm in favor of robots, and let's get another joke. I think I can do them all before I run out of time. 1950s fallout shelters were a trip. For the younger audience, when nuclear bombs became a thing, and when Russia had a whole bunch and we had a whole bunch, and we were all kind of like, you shoot me with a nuke, I'll shoot you with a nuke. And they called it the Cold War, right? But people started building shelters in their backyard, and that usually meant down in the ground, because that's the best way to survive a nuclear blast, is to be down in the ground. And, some of them were real primitive, and some of them were fancier. But you would have to, the idea we started accepting was that, well, I might have to go into this small underground shelter and stay there until the danger of radiation has passed, which could be decades. I don't think they really knew, because I think it depended upon how much, if you were at the center of the blast and you survived it, you got to stay down there for like 30 years. Check my math on that, because I'm not sure, but it would be decades. And it trips me out to think that people were like, well, I better dig a hole in the ground. I'm going to need to be in the hole. Hey, mother, I'm going to dig a hole in the ground where we can stay for 30 years. I'm like, no way, no, dude. I'll go out and look right at the blast. I'm not living in a hole for 30 years. All right, what else? We're almost out of time. Brother Seamus Show. Oh, this is another just goofy voice kind of thing. But hey, when I was a boy, other boys called each other pussies to indicate that they were weak or they were effeminate or they couldn't take enough pain or whatever it is, all the masculine type stuff. And of course, vaginas are quite strong. So it's a misnomer. It's a misnomer for boys to call each other pussies because of a lack of strength. But being a dick, I mean, that's used as an insult too. But penises aren't particularly strong. So I feel like using genitalia as an indication of weakness is pretty stupid. That's the end of that joke. Aren't you glad you tuned in to listen to me work through my set? All right, I got 3 more, and then we're going to go. 3 more jokes. I wanted to see if I could do these in 5 minutes, but I don't think there's any way. All right. Do y'all know what moth story time is? That's just a question. I don't know why I thought that was a joke. There's a joke in there somewhere. I don't remember what it was. The time I got a tick in my private bunghole area. So when I was a kid, we'd be outside playing in the, I was kind of a redneck, lived on the edge of the woods kind of thing. But it was a suburb, But there was a lot of wild country, and we'd run around and get ticks, and ticks like to go to the warm, dark places. But normally you'd find them, and then my cool uncles showed me how to take a lit cigarette, and if you hold it right up on the tick, it doesn't always work, but a lot of times the tick will pull its head out and try to go somewhere else, and you flick it off. So that was my understanding of how you remove a tick, and then there's the myth that if you pull them out, the head will stay in there and you'll get sick or something. I mean, the head might stay in there, you might get a little infection, but you just grab them at the base and pull them out. That's the right way to do it, the nurse told me. After I called and said I tried to use a lit cigarette to get the tick to get out of my butt. He was right up in there, man. He went as far up as he could go, right on the rim. And so I had a mirror. I had 2 mirrors. I was crouching. I was sitting on the counter, squatting on the counter in my bathroom with the big mirror and the small mirror, and I had a lit cigarette, and I don't smoke, so it's getting in my eyes. And then I called the nurse, and I said, I think I'm going to burn myself. I didn't actually burn myself, but I got really close to burning myself, and I realized, and you can't, I had 4 roommates. I'm not going to ask them to come. Hey, Jim. Yeah, can you, would you mind burning this tick out of my bungie? Oh, dude, no thank you. Come on, Jim. No. Jim, no. And the last joke is cannabis cured my allergies, sort of. That's true story. Not really a joke, but it's kind of funny because I was having a sneezing fit, and I smoked some weed, and I sucked it up my nose, and everything calmed down. And I'm allergic to like mold and certain animal dander and tree pollen, basic stuff. And I was like, oh my God, that worked so good. I stopped sneezing, everything calmed down. It's like cannabis is saying to your brain, nothing is fucked, dude. Nothing is fucked. Sometimes it gives you a panic attack, but that's a different joke. So the sneezing stopped. Cannabis, I do believe, is some sort of, I don't want to say antihistamine, but it maybe stops the histamine reaction. But it only lasted for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. This was smoking. So I thought to myself, well, cannabis is a very effective allergy relief drug for me. But I would have to smoke, I'd have to dose every 2 hours. And then I thought, well, that's not that bad, I don't know if I want to be high all the time, 24/7. But I see why, if you need to go to work or you need to do something or whatever, some things are cannabis friendly and some things aren't, right? So whatever it's doing, we should find out more about it, because it really did turn off my sneezing, and it lasted for a couple hours, but then I would have to, I'd have to be high all the time. That's not so terrible, is it? To be high all the time? I mean, probably should take a day off. This is the Brother Seamus Show. That was my first stab at those jokes there. I appreciate you coming out to the show tonight. Appreciate everybody. I hope you don't have any trouble finding your car. We do validate parking if you are in need. GRTV Bigfoot, big shout out to you for bringing, here we go. GRTV Bigfoot is back at it. This has been the Brother Seamus Show live on Q109 out of Walla Walla, Washington. I hope you'll join us for future broadcasts. I've got to get on my magic carpet and fly. Where'd Bigfoot go? Okay, Bigfoot will be right back. Don't you worry one little bit. There we go. Humans for Democracy is the name of our merch store on bonfire.com. You'll find links if you want to buy merch. We have a couple places you can share your wealth with us if you like our show, if you like our ideas. Just look in the description of this episode and you'll see. That's right. Get after it, Bigfoot. Get after it, Bigfoot. Oh, there we go. All right. I see what's happening. I was trying to put myself outside the window. Let's try harder. I think I can fit nicely in that window right there. Let's put the display on top and see what happens. Oh, I went away. All right. There we go. So that's it, people. That's all we have time for. 1 hour and 10 minutes of non-stop fun. Extremism Damnum. Extremism is bad for us. Social media promotes extremism. Right now it's pushing more for right-wing kind of stuff, but it could be left-wing. It could just as easily be lefty. So if you're a lefty liberal, don't get too far up your own ass about how you wouldn't be fooled by false claims of election fraud or how dumb people are. Lefties need to take it down a notch and realize when people get fooled, just like Bernie Madoff, he fooled some serious financially savvy people, but he gained their confidence. It's an emotional thing. It's not about how intelligent you are. Were you vulnerable enough to believe that an election had been stolen and that idea could stick in your brain? And some of you will always believe it was stolen in spite of all the evidence to the contrary. And that's okay. It's unfortunate, I think. I disagree with, holding on to something that lacks observable proof, because that's what science is all about. And I'll leave you with this thought. If you are one of those people that was, bombarded with false notions about election security, ask yourself this. If there was evidence of fraud, why didn't Mr. Trump prosecute? He had the best attorneys in the world. If he could have shown any proof, his case would have shot to the Supreme Court. It would have shot up like a rocket. But he didn't have any evidence that he could show anywhere. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the whole problem, people. Get over in this window. That's the whole problem. He had the best attorneys in the world. He would have taken it to court so fast it would make your head spin. All right, that's the Brother Seamus Show for today. Check out our cool t-shirts, people. Check out our cool t-shirts over on bonfire.com. Humans for Democracy. That's who does our official merchandise. I hope you'll buy a t-shirt or 2 or 7. They make great gifts. They really do make great gifts. I'm not even kidding. I'm your host, Brother Seamus. I'm a licensed psychologist and minister in the Church of the Latter-day Dude. Yes, it is a real thing. And I'm your real Brother Seamus. You can read that as a religious interpretation, or that I'm a fellow private eye. What, like a Brother Seamus? Or no, I did the joke wrong. I'm trying to rip off The Big Lebowski. When the private investigator says to the dude, I'm like you, man. I'm a Brother Seamus. And the dude says, what, like an Irish monk? So I like to think I'm a little bit of both. Maybe I'm an Irish monk. I've done a little private investigating in my time. But no, I'm not a private investigator.